I'm Timotab, and today I'm going to solve Oil and Water Quads by Blobz. If you'd like to try this puzzle for yourself, it will be the first link in the description. Blobz also has quite a collection of oil and water puzzles on Logic Masters Germany. So I will link to the LMD page for this as well, and on there are links to other puzzles in the series. Let's have a look at the rules. Normal sudoku rules apply, so we're going to place the digits 1 to 9 once each in every row, every column, and every 3x3 box. Digits in circles must appear in the surrounding 2x2 area. So one of those 4 digits will be a 5. There's a 3 and a 9 somewhere in those 4 cells, and so on. Digits in cages do not repeat. So so we can't have any repeats in cages. That's fairly standard for cages. There are no sums on these cages, but they will be used for the oil and water rules. Okay, each cage is either full of oil, which is even digits, or full of water, which are odd digits, or a mix of both. In all cases, each row within a cage is just one type, oil or water. Oil floats on water, so even digits will always be in rows above odd digits in mixed cages. So what does that mean? So we could say have those 3 being all oil and all even digits. They could be all water, but if it's mixed, then that one would have to be water, this one would have to be oil and even, and then this one could be either one. If we have a cage where there is a mix of them, then I can't put water and oil in the same row. They have to be all the same in a row in a given cage. So we could have those 2 as being oil, and then because oil floats on water, the water would be below it. So that's how that could look. Okay, I am going to restart the puzzle to reset the timer, and let's begin. Okay, first things first, we have some 5-digit cages. Now, digits cannot repeat in a cage, so for all 5-digit cages, the lowest row must be water, because there are only 4 even digits. So those must be water, and those must be water. There we go. And this is another 5 cage. Those must be water. All right. We now have 4 water in this row. So these 3, they must be all the same because they're in a single cage, all on the same row. But if I tried putting water there, that would be 7 odd digits in the row, which doesn't make sense. So these must be oil. And that, in turn, means that this must be oil because oil floats on water, so it's not allowed to be water. Okay. I've now got 4 even digits in that box, so the rest must be water and odd. And I can actually place this 3. There's only one odd location for it, and this 4 must go here. Okay. In this box, we have at least one odd digit, which is a 1. That means that there is at least one water in this cage, and because oil floats on water, water must go in the bottom row. This could still be water, but this is definitely water. Likewise over here. This must be water because we have at least one odd in that cage because of the 7. Okay. Okay, if this cell here were oil, I'm not allowed to have any oil above it. So, sorry, I'm not allowed to have any water above it. So if this were oil, all three of those would be oil, and then I would have 5 even digits in the column. So that one must be water. That gives me 5 waters in the row, so the rest must be oil. Okay, again, here, if this were oil, all of those would be oil, and I'd have too much oil in the column. So that one must be water. Okay. Aha. This 2 in this cage tells me that there is at least one even digit, so those must be oil at the top. This 8 tells me there is at least one even digit in this cage, so those must be oil at the top. Let's do that the right color. I've now got 4 even digits in the column. Sorry, in the row. 4 even digits in the row, so those must all be water. And because oil floats on top of water within a cage, this must be water. And that completes the water for the box, so this is all oil. There we go. And now what? Okay. At least, right, if this were oil, we still have to place an oil in this row in this box. Therefore, we have at least one oil there. That's 2, that's 3. I can't make those both oil. So those must be water. Because this is water, everything below it must be water. That's 5 waters in the box, so those must be oil. That's 4 oil in the row, so this must be water. At least one of these 2 is now oil, but they have to both be the same. So they are both oil, making this water. I now need 2 more oil in this column, which is those 2. That completes the oil for the box, so the rest is water. Is there some more colouring I can get done without starting to look at digits? I can't see anything obvious right now, so I will start looking at digits, I guess. Actually, I do see something. This can't be oil, because if that's oil, then this must be oil, which makes all of that oil, and then that's 5 oil in the box. So that must be water. So those 2 must be the same, and those 2 must be the same, but they can't be all oil or all water. So I've got either 2 oil here and 2 water here, or the other way around. In any case, that gives me all the oil for the row and 3 of the water. So that, sorry, and 3 of the oil. All the water for the row. Right. If I look at those, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 water, 1, 2, 3 oil, or switching the highlighted cells around. So either way, that one is oil. Okay. These three are the same, and they can't be water because I've already got 3 water in the box. So those must be oil. That makes these the water. That makes these the oil. That makes these all water. And now I need 1 oil and 1 water in this column. And because of the way they float, that must be the water, that must be the oil, which makes this oil. Okay. Anything else? One, two, three, four. Yeah, I need 1 oil and 1 water in this column. So that one has to be the water, making those 2 oil. That makes those 2 water to complete the row count. That makes this oil to complete the column. This is also oil to complete the column. And then that leaves an oil-water pair in each of these. I don't think I can do that just yet. Okay, so let's start putting some things in. All right, this 2. There's only 1 even digit around that quad circle, so that must be where the 2 goes. I need a 6 in one of those 2. I need a 4 precisely here. That by sudoku makes that a 4 as the last remaining even digit in the column. The 8 for this quad circle must now go here, and that makes this a 2-6 pair. Okay. There's a 1 in one of those 2. There's a 1 in one of those 2. This 1 quad can't place a 1 here because of this one. There's a 3 along there. There's a 5 looking down there. Okay, this can't be a 1 because of this 1 pointing here. So the 1 is there. And that makes this a 1 by sudoku and by parity. This digit cannot be a 6 because of this quad, and it can't be a 4, so that is a 2 or an 8. This 3-8 quad is forcing an 8 here, so that becomes a 2. That is a 4 or a 6. We get 2, 4, or 6 there, and one of those is definitely a 2. That means that there is a 2 in one of those 2 by sudoku, but it's not that one, so that's a 2. That gives me a 2 in one of those. These 2 digits must be 3 and 9. 8 means that 8 is not in any of those, so that's an 8. That displaces a 2, so that's a 2. That is a 4-6 pair. That is 4 or 6. Okay, one of these 2 is a 4 by this quad clue, but it can't be that one because there's already a 4 in the row. So that's a 4. That will resolve our final colouring. That is now water, and that one is oil. And now that can't be a 7. That's the only place for a 7. Get a 9 in one of those. Okay. Right, we get a 4 in one of those two by sudoku. We should be able to largely treat this as two sudoku puzzles now. One with the odd digits and one with the even digits. So I am, for the moment at least, going to focus on the even digits. So that 8 means that 8 can't go there. That has to be the 6. That's the 8. That now has to be a 6. That 6 actually resolves the 4 and 6 up here. I get an 8 and a 4 here, which I can resolve by the 4 at the top. That 4 is removing 4 from those, making this the 4. This must be a 2, last remaining even in the column. This sees 4 and 8 in the column and a 2 in the box, so that's a 6, that's a 2, that's a 6. That is 2 over here. Okay, this for the column is either 4 or 6, but the 4 tells me that it is a 6, making that a 4, that is an 8. I have a 4, 8 over here, making this a 2, 6, which I can fill in. And there we go. That 2 resolves the 6 and the 2. I now need a 4 that goes here, an 8 here, a 6 here, got an 8 there, and that is all of our evens done. Okay, now to work on the odd digits. And let's see what we can figure out. Okay, this cannot be a 7 because we already have a 7 in the box. So the 7 for this is either here or here. That's I'm not going to mark that across the boxes, but that's a 3 in one of those two. This 3 makes this a 9. This is a 3. We have a 7 in one of those two by this quad, but the 7 in the row tells us it's not that one. So that's a 7. And with 2 digits left, we'll put in a 1, 5 pair. That is also 1 or 5 by the row. By the box, it must be a 5, so we can actually resolve the 1, 5 pair we just placed. Okay, this 7 is looking up here, so 7 is now in one of those two. So this is either 1 or 9 by the column. This, Okay, there's a 1 in one of those two, which means that the 1 in this box is one of those two, including sudoku. That removes 1 as a candidate from there and places it there. These 3 digits are 1, 3, and 9. And this one's not a 9 because of the quad clue. That's a 5. These 2 digits are 7 and 9. That could be the 7 from there, but we could still have a 7 here. Not sure yet. Okay. I need a 5 for this clue. That has to go here. That places a 5 in one of those two. This 9 quadruple needs a 9 in it, but it can't be this digit because of this 9. So this is a 9. That means that those aren't 9s and one of those is a 9. Okay, that then, by sudoku, means that that's not a 9, so one of those two is a 9. 1 does not go down there by sudoku, so that's actually a 1-9 pair. That means that that's not a 1, so 1 is in one of those 3. These must be 3, 5, and 7. But that one can't be a 3 because of the quad clue, it has to be down there, and it can't be a 5 because of the row, so that's a 7, making this a 3, 5 pair. This 7 makes this a 3, 9 pair in the row, which makes this a 5, 7 pair. So this digit is 3 or 9 to pair up with that one. Okay. All right. Where to look next? This digit is not 1 or 9, so it's 3, 5, or 7, but it's not 5, so that's 3 or 7. Okay, those are not 3, so we have a 3 in one of those two. Is there a clue that I'm missing something from? Or is it all down to sudoku now? There's this clue, still needs its 7 fulfilled. This 9 resolves the 1 and the 9 here. That 1 makes this a 1, which makes this a 7. 7 now can't go here, so this must be the 7. And that's a 9. So this 7, that means this is a 5, 7 pair here. Oh, and then this is 3 or 9, but it can't be a 9 because of this 9. So that's 3. That's 9. That becomes 3 and 9. This is a very nice puzzle. Fairly smooth. This is a 1, no, it is a 3, 5 pair, and we know the order because of this 3. So that's a 3, that's a 5, that resolves my 7 and 5 here. These two digits are 1 and 5, and we know the order from this 5. That's a 1, that's a 5. That is not a 1, that is not a 1. That makes this a 1-9 pair. And we have a 5-digit cage, 5-cell cage. We have a 1-9 pair in here, so this can't be a 1. That's a 3. That makes that 7. That's 5. That's 7. That resolves my 3 and 5 over here. We get to place a 3 right there, which resolves my 9 and 1 that were left in this box, which resolves this 9 and 1. That makes this a 3 by Sudoku, and these two are 7 and 9, and we can see the order that they go in. And that was a really lovely oil and water puzzle. Thank you very much, Blobz, for creating it. I really enjoyed it. As I say, if you liked this, then check out Blobz's other oil and water puzzles and enjoy. If you like the solve, then please hit the like button. You can subscribe to see some more, and I would love to hear your comments, including how well you did on this puzzle. I'm looking forward to next time. Be seeing you.